Welcome back to Two Guys in the Outdoors. We're going to step away from the tree stand series for a bit. Remember, please subscribe, leave a comment, share with some others, and like this show. During some research that we've done on the purchase of hunting license, we've noticed that the women hunters are increasing. So this show is going to be an interview with 3 new lady hunters. Welcome back to Two Guys in the Outdoors. We got a really good session here today. We're going to talk to 3 ladies about their hunting experiences and what got them going, and just hear their story. So before we get started, though, let's get some introductions in order. Jason, you want to go first?
Introduce myself, or
What you do in the outdoors? Everybody should know you.
well, let's see. You and I did some other tree stand recording. Unfortunately, the storms came through, and so I've got a great big sycamore tree that's down in my backyard. So I've been spending a lot of time with a chainsaw here lately, and so yeah, that's what I've been doing in the outdoors. But I do want to share with you all. Hey, I got a new
He's always
toy.
gonna brag.
I got a new toy. No, I've been looking for a 16 gauge forever, and I lucked in and found a side by side 16 gauge. So hey, it's related to the outdoors, so I wanted to share it with you all.
Okay.
There you go. That's what I've been doing.
So I'm going to go next, and I actually am going to do a little bit of introduction because you guys, I don't think you know who I am. We've been talking, but you don't know who I am. So my name is Bob Waltz, and I've been with the Hunters Education Program for what, a little over a year now, Jason?
Yeah.
Jason's one that kind of enticed me to do it. And
I think I've met all of you all through some type of outdoor program. So,
yeah. So I've been hunting for 30 some odd years. Took a little hiatus in the middle there, raising kids and taking them to soccer and doing all that dad stuff. And then now that I'm a grandpa, I want to get back into it. So that's me. What I've done in the outdoors, like Jason said, last week we actually were finishing up some videoing of some tree stand stuff, which will come out this week. The next few weeks. But the one that I'm really focusing in right now is getting my body in shape and getting the archery muscles flowing and moving. And I did get the bow all sighted in. I got my pins all, and it was Jason just one move, boom, and it was done.
Yep.
But I had when I started with really hard muscles, or tight muscles. I went from an 8-inch circle. This morning when I did my 30 shots, they were down to a grouping like this. So I got a 2 to 4-inch grouping now. So and that's at 25 yards. So
good deal.
So yeah, I'm rather excited. Except for I'm starting to get a little bit of that spiral effect. So I gotta fix that.
Nah, that's normal. That's normal.
But that's what I did over and the outdoors. I've just been, practicing. So Maria, would you like to go next?
Yeah, hi. So I'm Maria Decristoforo, and I'm a fairly new hunter. Just started last season, and uh, I've been out of the country a lot in the last 6 months. But one of the things that I've been able to do in the outdoors is there's a wonderful 3D archery course and archery range not too far from where I'm living, and so I've been able to, sneak out on a Saturday or a Sunday and really practice my archery skills, especially with determining distance. That's been something I've been trying to work on all summer.
So compound or traditional?
Compound.
Okay.
I can't afford a Jason Miller special yet, so I gotta.
Hey, a Jason Miller special is free. All you need is some elbow grease and some tools, and you can make them.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, would you like to go or? No, she missed
She's
her turn.
leaving.
Christy.
Nope, she's back.
Go ahead, Christy. You go next.
Well, thank you for having me. We just got back from our family vacation. So in the last weekend, I live in the Fairfax County area, so I'm pretty much in the suburbs. So we don't have traditional outdoors like I think of woods and fields and rivers and streams. So I spent some time this weekend with our dog in the local park, and so kind of looking at areas for urban archery. Planning out what kind of tree stand I'm going to get, actually. So I think I need to review your last video.
There you go.
But I got into, my dad told stories about hunting, but at that time in my life, I wasn't interested in it. And I decided that, since having kids, I wanted to really look at game as harvesting an animal as a food source for my family. I really enjoy being out in nature and smelling the sound, the smells and hearing the sounds of things like acorns falling into ponds and just that really calming effect. My son he's 7, and so I've been taking him out fishing. We went trout fishing, and we went
Nice.
I went rock fishing with a women's group up in Maryland. But all of my training has come from events in Virginia, the Becoming an Outdoorswoman program in Maryland. I did their 3-day retreat out in Garrett County, which was great. I did the Delaware archery for beginners for women up in all the way up. I don't even remember where we were, but it was really great. I slept in a tent and hadn't done that in years.
All right.
After that, I learned I need a pad to sleep on because I'm not 12 years old anymore.
Yes, you do. That pad's very important.
But now I've recently been accepted into the urban archery program in Fairfax County. So I'm working with my cluster. I got qualified on my crossbow, and moving forward, figuring out how it's going to happen, because I'm looking forward to harvesting a deer in my own neighborhood and preventing needless car accidents. So
you can't beat the smile off her face with a 2x4, and that's what the outdoors does for people, and I love
Look,
it.
all of them, all 3 of them are smiling so hard. But Christy's going to be doing something that I wish I could do. I've never done it, and that's that urban archery. I mean, I've heard a lot about it, and it seems intriguing to me. Let's put it that way.
Lots of rules, lots of paperwork, but I'm hoping it's all going to be worth it. So.
I'm sure it will be.
Absolutely.
All right, Stephanie.
Okay, sorry, my phone was like going on right as you asked me. So I'm Stephanie Barron. I am in Prince William County, and recently been outdoors cutting down trees and got myself a nice armful of poison ivy. Was on all sorts of medicine this week and weekend, so that was good. I had proof that. And I got into, so I originally, my background is mostly fisherman, fishing, and my dad did hunting a little bit, but he was more of a fisherman. So we've done all the Potomac, all of the rivers of Virginia, fishing just right in the creek in my backyard, because for many, many years, Prince William was farmland before it became, as built up as it is. And then I don't know, 3 years ago, I actually was reading the Virginia Wildlife magazine, because we get that subscription, and there was an article about a mom and her hunting experience and how she loves it. And I was like, well, I'm a mom, I could do that too. And so I reached out it was right before COVID, actually, right before everything shut down. I reached out to the mentor program in Virginia, and they paired me up with my mentor. And he's just been kind of like my rock and my kind of mentor. Just anything. He was there when I was in Cabela shopping for everything, and I was taking pictures, sending. So I'm looking forward to another season, hunting with him. And yeah, that's really that's my background.
All right.
So I'm assuming you're hunting public ground?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. He has like a couple of farms that are private that he's kind of got like a
Oh, okay.
friendship with, and so he takes me out there. So,
Okay, nice.
yeah.
Jason, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, and I'm just going to, the numbers across the nation is showing that the fastest growing group is women in the outdoors, and a lot of people don't know this, but in a lot of states, but especially here in Virginia, our conservation dollars come from hunters and fishermen. And people that buy firearms and ammunition and stuff like that, the Pittman-Robertson Act. And so if it wouldn't be for hunters and fishermen, we wouldn't be stalking elk in Virginia. We would not have our bobwhite quail restoration programs and things like that. So hunting has been declining number wise, but women in the outdoors has been climbing. And so that's kind of some of the questions I'm going to be asking, is because, it's very, very important to conservation that we have that revenue coming in for wildlife. As much as I love watching birds at my bird feeder, that's not putting money into conservation. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get off of that soapbox now. So the first question is, how long have you been hunting? And then, and some of you have already alluded to it, what got you started into hunting? So how long have you been hunting, and then what got you started?
So who wants to start?
Yep. Who? Somebody
It
go.
doesn't- Maybe just keep
No.
the same order.
Okay. So I think that this is probably a pretty common answer, but I didn't have a relative, available to teach me, how to hunt or to get into hunting really early. Like Stephanie, my parents have always been very like fishing and boating, recreational boating focused. And so I grew up on a lot of lakes and, doing a lot of shore fishing, but I never really did any hunting. And then COVID happened, right? And when COVID happened, it coincided with me coming back from a deployment, and I live on a farm. And so I was, focusing on, where my food was really coming from, and I probably was overzealous with my first year of gardening. I didn't really do a great job about thinking about the time and labor of one person versus the size of the garden that I created. But that really kind of started the thought process of how can I contribute to a sustainable lifestyle where I am at least able to provide for myself, not just in a national emergency, even though that's kind of what triggered it. And so then I got chickens, right? And so then it was a garden, and then it was chickens, and then a bear came and ate my chickens, and I was really pissed at this bear. So I so I bought a 308, and then I was like, well, I have this 308. Let me get new chickens and an electric fence, and also see what I can do to take like that next step. So getting into hunting was really more of a methodical progression from sort of this concept of sustainability, really thinking about the life that the animal has had before it's slaughtered. So, we also focused on like where we get our
Oh no.
Oh no.
Or is that Maria?
beef or thing. So I think that this was just a natural progression, from that. And then I met these lovely ladies at the Hunter Skills Weekend last year in Appomattox. And initially I was really focused just on deer and turkey. And then, Stephanie was like, why don't you go upland bird hunting with me? And I was like, I didn't even take the class for it. And ironically, it's been the most successful hunting experience for me has been doing the upland game bird hunts for quail and pheasant. So that's my story.
All right. So just recap. Haven't been hunting very long, just now really, still pursuing it since, COVID kind of triggered it. And I'm starting to see that pattern there a little bit, and it's, and that's good for me because it's going to help me, and, help others, as far as educating other people that's starting to get into this. So thank you.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, Christy.
Yeah, we're going in the same order.
All right. So, like I said, I grew up on stories, but I also saw Bambi as a kid. So it was not necessarily something I was interested in until 2017. A friend of mine was an avid hunter that lived down in North Carolina. He was talking about, the overpopulation problem that we have everywhere with white-tailed deer, realistically, and about food security and being self-sufficient and self-reliant. And as a mom of 2 kids with a husband and a dog that eats everything in sight, having a reliable food source is definitely a comfort, and knowing that I have the skill to be able to supply that in case of emergency has been a very substantial comfort for me. So when COVID rolled around, back in 2017, I went on a Sika deer hunt out in Blackwater Nature Reserve in Maryland, and I was fortunate to harvest an animal who was delicious. And my British husband, for the first time, had venison. He thought it tasted like steak. He said it was amazing. My kids, we didn't tell them at first because we weren't sure if there were any preconceptions there, but they ended up loving it too. So, and then for the next couple of years after that, hunting is not one of the easiest sports to get into if you don't have someone that that can really take you out there and help you with the minutia and figure it all out. So I relied on taking any course I could find that was available within my limit was 3 to 4 hours drive from my house. And I was very fortunate to meet this lovely support system that I have with these 2 lovely ladies here, and our friend Megan, who was not able to be here tonight. And we've all been helping each other. So if we see opportunities out there, we let each other know. If we have questions, we source it to our little group chat. And it's just been a really positive experience, especially after COVID, when you think about all of us were so socially isolated. being able to have what essentially is a new community for us, and being able to have conversations about, well, I don't know, should I get a saddle tree stand or should I get a lightweight one? Or what do you think's the best idea? Because, as women, we don't have the same body types as a lot of men. So what may work for a 6'2" dude may not work as well for little me. So being able to have that community and be able to find out from each other of how we can help each other and how we can become more ethical and better hunters is really important. And I want my kids to have the experience as well. I want them to have the skill to be able to do it. And we've already gone out fishing, which is loads of fun. I did that as a kid, but my dad did most of it. So knowing how to tie a hook correctly and do the knots and all that other kind of little details that you don't think about when you're a kid. And just figuring it all out and having a wonderful group of people to work with. So that's kind of been my experience so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody that knows me, my motto is keep it simple and go and do it. You know what I mean? Keep it simple, go hunting, because being involved in education, and I'm guilty of it too. We're so passionate about the outdoors that we can really overwhelm somebody that's new coming in, and that can sometimes turn them away because when you start talking about gear and equipment and the cost and all of that stuff, it can really turn somebody away. So I try to really focus on the experience. Equipment and material and all that stuff will come later, a little bit at a time to make you more comfortable. But I am so, so happy that you all have found each other and you've got this little community of in helping each other. That just makes my heart sing, because that's just so powerful, and y'all know that. That's awesome. All right, Stephanie.
I can't even remember the question now because I'm just like, I am like, your heart is just like worked. I know, like all three of us. I'm like, don't bring it to tears, lady.
No,
before we go too far.
Yeah.
Before we go too far. Hey,
yeah, I mean,
Stephanie, hold on. I want to say one thing. Going back to what Jason was just saying. I know we've talked about it. You guys got this group together, and it's great. I agree with Jason. It's great that you have this. You got people you can lean on. Okay. Don't think that is something that, a new person's just starting out needs. Okay. Because if you talk to a lot of the older folks, older people that's been around, doing it for a number of years, they got the same thing. Okay. They may be asking different types of questions, but they're bouncing ideas off of each other. Hey, what do you do in this situation? Okay. So having a good support system that no matter how long you've been doing it is very important.
Yep.
So, didn't mean to cut you off, Stephanie.
No, that's okay.
I was trying to jump in there, but I was muted.
It's okay. I truly cannot remember what the question was. So I mean,
how long have you been hunting?
Oh, okay. All right.
And what got you started hunting?
Oh, okay. I feel like I covered that already, but that's okay. So yeah, I about 3 years. So right before COVID, so 2019. So is when I started like on my online course, and it was just because I read an article like this and I got inspired by it. And, she was a single mom too. And, she's like, yeah, I go out, and she hunts for her and her family. And she wanted to be the ultimate provider. And that's, when you are a mom, that's what you want to be able to do, is provide, for your family and your kids. And, what is it? The community is huge. I mean, and I think for new hunters going to that new hunters weekend or even the women's weekend. Like that's a great, I think the women's one is great to just get acclimated to outdoors if you're not an outdoors person. Luckily all four of us, Megan's not here, but we were all very acclimated to the outdoors and we're like, yeah, we just wanted to take the next level of it. So and what is it? So then just going to the beginner, like that one weekend that you guys always host in September. So that was, I mean, that's
the skills weekend. Yeah.
The skills weekend. Yes. Yeah. So, and that's the weekend that, we met and just haven't left, I feel like. And we divvy up, we each kind of all belong to like different states becoming outdoor women's. And so like Christy will send everything from Maryland or Delaware. And I'm like, I'm on the West Virginia. So waiting for West Virginia to start posting and sending things. Maria's great with the Virginia, just the actual classes that you guys offer at the state level. She's always like throwing things in the chat like this just
Yeah, I know. I don't want them to miss out on a seat.
Yeah. So like this weekend, Megan and I are going to the duck hunting down in like the Rappahannock area. So yeah, you'll see us there, Jason.
I'll see y'all this weekend. That's awesome.
Yeah. So and that's the benefit of the group is that you're not like I don't have time always to go through and scroll, and so it's like, oh, okay, this is great. And I think we've been learning from what's her name, Wendy. She's one of the I want to say like chief outdoor women of Virginia, but like she's been right. She is to us. So, she shared the Delaware, the clamming, and so like that's on all of our bucket lists. Like, let's go clamming, So it's just not going it alone, which it's. I think that's the biggest thing is don't feel like you have to do it alone. So
yeah. So that's awesome. It sounds like kind of, all of you all, kind of got started hunting, for the same reasons, you wasn't interested earlier in life, and then, families or, unfortunately COVID, kind of pushed a lot of people in that direction. And it's about providing for yourself and your family and that's kind of what I'm seeing. Back when I started hunting, it was tradition. It was a way of life. I know nothing other than. I mean, we and I still do it. We butcher hogs, we have chickens and turkeys, and we gather eggs every day, and we have a garden, fresh tomatoes and cucumbers. So for me, listening to you all, it's helping me be a better educator. Because not everybody's like me, and to have you all share, I found that most of our new hunters coming into the outdoors right now, it's all about providing for their family, or that's the start of it, and then it kind of grows from there. For me right now, hunting, yeah, it's still providing for my family, but it's more of a spiritual. I connect. I feel free. I am most happy when I'm in the outdoors.
Sure hope you enjoyed that. Stay tuned with the next episode. Please subscribe, leave a comment, share with others, and like this show.